Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all. Today in this video, we'll be looking at member of address type. So having said that, let's jump right in. So a quick reminder that an address holds a 20-byte value representing an Ethereum address which can either be an externally owned account or a contract account. Having said that, let's take a look at the various members available in an address. Okay, so the first on the list is balance, which basically gets the balance of an address in Way. And as we all know, Way is the smallest unit of Ether, which is the currency of the Ethereum blockchain, right? So moving forward, we also have code, right? So code basically gets the code at a particular address, and usually this is the case where it's a contract address, right? And the next is code hash, which basically returns the code hash of the address. And also, an address can be declared as payable, which means that it can accept Ether. And once this is done, it basically means that it can perform methods such as transfer. And once the transfer method is being called upon an address payable, it means that it can send a given amount of weight to a particular address and it reverts on failure. Unlike transfer that reverts on failure, right? When you use the method send, it basically returns false on failure. Basically the same thing when you're using transfer, it sends a given amount of weight to an address. So I did mention two methods for transferring Ether, which is transfer and send. This method are currently not being recommended for sending Ether, but rather you can use the call method. So call method basically issue a low level call with the given payload and returns success condition and the return data. Basically, what the call method helps us do is it allows us to execute the code of another contract and also transfer Ether in a single function call. Also, we have delegate call. Delegate call helps us to like interact with other contract or execute the code of another contract. But in this case, it preserves the context of the calling contract, meaning that it allows you to execute code from another contract while maintaining the calling contract storage and state. So the last on the list is static call, which basically helps us to execute the code of another contract without basically modifying the calling contract state. So usually it's used for reading data from other contracts. Alright, so let's take a practical look at some of the members that we explained. I already declared this contract over here, and now we have an address declared and initialized to be owner. We also have an address payable, right? Now we created a get balance function, which basically helps us return the balance of both owner and reach. And we said that the balance method basically returns the balance of an address in way. Moving forward, we basically also called the transfer method on our address payable tool, and we use the global variable msg.value, right? So also we declare this function to be payable because we'll be sending ether to while calling this function. And basically we just transfer the amount sent to this specified address. Also we used the send method also, which basically returns false or true if it succeed, and if it fails it returns false, right? And also this is us handling the error. So in the case where it's successful, it basically shows that it's successful, and also in the case where it failed, it returns this error message, failed to send ether. Like I mentioned previously, these functions are not recommended for sending ether, and we basically make use of the call method, right? So the call method basically takes the address to, and we initialize the call method. We pass in the value we are sending, right? And also we are handling the error. Right, so let's quickly deploy this and see how that works. Right? So the first thing we want to do is to get the balance of each. So we have 999, which is up here, right? And we said the balance returns the balance of an address in way. And like we know that ether is 1e18, right? So that's 1 times 10 raised to the power 18, or 1 with 18 zeros. So that means if we want to convert this is going to be 99 ether, right? Same thing applies here. This is going to be 100 ether. Okay, so let's try to send ether to another address, and copy this address and we use the call method. Now we have to pass in msg.value, and on Remix we have that functionality where we can pass in the value. Right, basically change this to ether. And when we hit the send button, we expect that the balance should reduce and the recipient's address should increase. In this case, we have 110 and we have 89. Alright, so pretty much the same thing goes for the send and transfer. And do note that this send and transfer are not recommended for sending ether. So it's basically safe to use the call method. Okay, so this, because we said this wants to be public, it automatically sets a getter function for them, and we can basically see our addresses. Alright, so pretty much it, we've been able to look at address and the various members available in an address. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next video.